Well, if this is showing up, you know what, this will still work out just fine. We'll do it this way. So tonight we have a Govvi opportunity presentation overview. I'm sorry for the slow amount, but apparently switching monitors, this just pops up this way and this is its full screen. So we're going to use it. So the opportunity overview is we are not the first to market. We are the best to market. This fuel catalyst and fuel treatment thing is nothing that's new. Fuel catalysts, we have to change this a little bit, have actually been around since 1948, I believe, when they were first discovered, but they didn't finish the process. So around 1978, well, exactly 1978, the technology received a Nobel Peace Prize for their groundbreaking fuel economy improvements and their ability to help engines burn clean and last longer while reducing emissions by up to 70% or more. There have since been 5 subsequent Nobel Prizes awarded to this technology since the beginning of its invention, and its first prize in 1978. So this technology is nothing new. The company that we get the product from and we license it through has been doing this for 20 years. So they've worked specifically in the commercial industry because in the consumer world, nobody's cared. Gas just hasn't been expensive enough. So one of the big reasons that these commercial fleet vehicles and these some of these bigger companies, they've got $500,000 to multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment. They use this product not just for the fuel economy increase, but it also helps the engine run better and longer. So if you got a $500,000 to multi-million-dollar piece of equipment, if you can get an extra 1, 2, 3 years out of the deal, that's a really good bonus. That makes using these tablets really, really, really worth it. So the fuel tablets are a 5th generation fuel catalyst backed by a 1973 Nobel Prize in chemistry won by Jeffrey Wilkinson and Ernst Otto Fischer. So we are now up to the 5th generation. The only other companies that I know out there are still in 4th generation. So this is why we say we're not the first to market, we're the best one. It's a revolutionary catalyst that changes the molecular structure of the fuel molecules to make them smaller, uniform, and burn more efficiently and more completely so that there's no carbonization or carbon residue, and there's more power to the engine. This is formulated to reduce your vehicle's fuel consumption, resulting in more miles per gallon and saving you more money every time you fill up your tank. It's also designed to clean your engine, reduce knocking, and lower emissions so we can all do our part for the environment. I drive a 700 horsepower Jeep Trackhawk. I need all the fuel economy I can get out of it, but one of the other benefits that comes from the Govvi tablets is it increases your octane or cetane level by 5. So I can go use 87 gas and still get better performance than as if I were paying for the 91. This saves me about $1 a gallon straight out the gate, even before I get any kind of fuel economy increase. So for me, massive value being able to use this. So this creates an acceleration of fuel burning at the time of combustion, which reduces the peak temperature of the cylinder, which increases the life of the engine. It creates a unique catalytic cover on the combustion surface of the engine to help protect them. It increases the octane level, like I said, by about 5. You can use this in race cars, airplanes, and all you do is get even better performance. And so the next one of increased power and performance, that's part of it. It also reduces emissions and smoke exhaust. So anybody that's a truck driver that's out there, you're going to go through less diesel exhaust fluid because you don't have as many emissions coming out. Now you really kind of save doubly. And then this way we can say, well, we really are doing our part to help the environment. We know I'm not a big fan of electric cars. By the time you mine all the stuff needed for the batteries and ship it around the world 1.5 times to get it refined and get it done, we haven't solved any problems. Plus gas is still created by coal electricity is still created by coal and other things. We haven't really solved any problems with the electric engine. So this also helps keep the valve injectors and oxygen sensors clean. The molecular behavior of petroleum and oil oil derivatives, gas and diesel inside the combustion chamber. Oil and its derivatives, gas and diesel tend to behave in an unstable manner inside the combustion chamber. This molecular instability causes formation of solid residues called oxides due to their acidic process in the combustion chamber. This acid process results in carbonization, aka you just get carbon in the engine because these oxides, they're resistant to high temperatures, they stick to stuff, and the carbonized ores adheres to the metal used in various components of the engines. So it's important to note this oxidative process occurs in every type of fuel engine, new or old, if it's operated by fossil fuel, aka gas or diesel. So anybody that's ever worked with a small engine or a large engine or a car, you're no stranger to carbon buildup from the fuel burning in completely. This oxidation process will cause the engine of your vehicle to consume more fuel, pollute the environment, increase the preventative cost, the corrective maintenance, and you lose power. So we get carbonization on spark plugs, we get clogging of oil and gas filters, we get damage to the oxygen sensors, loss of engine compression, increase in polluting gases, higher fuel consumption, more frequent oil changes, increase in temperature. This is just what happens. It's much, if you're in the natural health world, it's much unlike, or it's not much, it's not unlike your mitochondria. When you're getting all of this oxidative byproducts, this is the same thing kind of happening in the engine. You basically, it gums it up, it plugs it up, you lose power. And so this goes from the stable to the unstable to the stable. In the simplest terms, Wilkinson and Fisher managed to formulate a stable molecule in a metal element in the middle of two carbon elements connected to hydrogen chains. The Govvi formulation acts as an exposed carboxyl molecule branches that are acidic and attracted to the Govvi tablet's oxide to initiate a dehydration process. This dehydration process produces a molecule of water, which decomposes at high temperatures, releasing a molecule of carbon dioxide. This process eliminates the links in the aromatic chains and has a reversible effect on carbon deposits. So it increases your octane number by about 5, reduces toxic gas emissions up to 85%, and decarbonizes carbon residue, leaving a catalytic varnish on the engine instead. So basically, it just leaves a beautiful little protective coating that does not harm the engine. It actually helps it. So organometallic technology is based on 6 Nobel Prizes in chemistry. In the July of 2015, Govvi technology was approved by in Mexico by the IMP, or the Mexican Petroleum Institute. The Department of Defense and the aerospace industry in the US have used this organometallic technology for 30 years. This is nothing new. Our Department of Defense has been using it for a very long time. It provided these federal organizations in the United States to come from the same laboratory that manufactures the tablets for Govvi. We've got tests totaling about 400 million miles in the United States. This has been tested. It works. There's companies that have been using it for over a decade because it works for them and it produces. And now that we're up to the 5th generation, the technology just keeps getting better and we have the best technology. So the Govvi tablet technology has been in operation since summer of 2010 in the United States. As of now, there is no record of product returns, and the Govvi tablet has not caused any damage to any engines or the environment. Therefore, it has no lawsuits on record in the United States. The laboratory that manufactures the Govvi products is regulated by the EPA, which is the Federal Agency of Environmental Protection Agency in the United States. Therefore, this represents a symbol of guarantee that it's bringing the pollution down. The EPA went and said, yeah, we're reducing greenhouse gases. For everybody that's actually worried about that out there, this is a real thing that we can do our part to bring those down. I mean, I could drive a different vehicle, obviously, too, but at least I'm doing something. So we're saving money and the environment. Govvi fuel tablets reduce CO2 emissions up to 85%. So then if you're driving a truck, not only are you getting better mileage, not only is it helping get more miles out of your engine, but it reduces your consumption of diesel exhaust fluid in diesel engines. That's a pretty big deal because that can get pretty expensive. So basically, in the nuts and bolts, this is what the product is. It's a single tablet. You can get it for about as low as roughly $3, maybe a little cheaper if you buy it, in bigger quantities. Costs you about $3 at the end of the day. Most people, if they've got about a 20-gallon tank, that single tab treats a 15 to 20-gallon tank. Most people on average save up to $20 at the pump. I save almost 20 right out the gate because I can use the 87 and 91. And then when I add into, say I get 20% better fuel economy, I'm saving, $30, $40 at the point of this. If you're in Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, or some of these other countries, their gas is $8, $9 a gallon. You can imagine if someone's getting a 20% boost to their gas, they're saving a lot of money at the pump. For Canadians, one of the ladies did the math. She's like, if I get a 20% boost, I save almost $40 at the pump on a single tab that costs in Canada about $4 to get there. So she's like, I'm net benefit of $36 if I get the 20% boost out of it. There have been people that have reported higher in the beta testing. Some people are lower. It just sort of depends on each person in your particular car. So technology is nothing new. It's just a little teeny tab. You drop in your gas tank, fill it up. You can even put it in after it's full. And it just helps your car burn all of the fuel instead of part of the fuel being created and turning into this carbon buildup or going out the exhaust pipe. We get to reduce emissions with it, and we get to protect the engine. It's been tested for 400 million miles. The company's been in existence for 15, 20 years, never had a single lawsuit against it. So is it safe? Yes. Does it work? Yes. We've got the university studies. We'll be back in the back office here shortly after marketing fixes it up. Does it reduce emissions? Yes. Does it help protect the engine? Yes. All of those things that we have said are true. The reason why you've never heard of it until now, because nobody in the consumer world cared. Gas wasn't expensive enough, so no one cared. This is just the way it works. So now that there's a demand for it, we have some intelligent people said, hey, there's a giant demand for this. Let's bring this to market. A network marketing company is a great way to get the word out really, really quickly and capitalize on this opportunity. So now that we're talking about opportunity, this is the part of it. If you were just here that you wanted to learn what the tablets did and how they worked, that concluded how they worked and what they do. And are they safe? Yes. Do they work? Yes. Do they lower emissions? Yes. Are they good for the engine? Yes. Have they been around? Yes. Tested for 400 million miles. The U.S. Department of Defense has used them. So we're moving into the Govvi opportunity to say, okay, so this is neat. This stuff is really cool. This provides a lot of value to a lot of people because everybody right now is still talking about gas prices. That is not going to change anytime soon. They've stopped talking about the weather. Everyone's just being